With so many methods of training out there, it's really no excuse to start getting into shape. You got CrossFit, yoga, Pilates, powerlifting, of course, conventional weightlifting at the gym, and more. But in my opinion, the holy grail of all training methods is none other than calisthenics. And by the end of this video, you will feel inspired and motivated to start training calisthenics if you don't already. Nonetheless, let's dive into the reasons why I think calisthenics is a superior form of training. Reason number one, you can train anywhere. I'm gonna give you guys an example. Let's say you wanna start building some muscle, but unfortunately, you don't have access to a gym or equipment for that matter. So what can you do? Start training calisthenics. You could train at home, park, grocery store. I've seen people train calisthenics right on the subway in New York City. Tell me that's not dedication. The world is literally your domain to start training. I mean, I seen David Goggins doing push-ups right at an airport. Who does push-ups right at an airport? David Goggins, of course. But I'm quite sure those of you that train calisthenics already engage in this type of activity. Whether it's doing push-ups at an airport, handstands at a beach, a grocery store, attempting some pull-ups just walking down the street. People that are serious about calisthenics are serious about calisthenics. They don't even have to say anything. We just show you a cool looking exercise, or maybe we just see something when we're walking about and we're like, let me see if I can attempt to move on that. You know how it is when you train calisthenics. You just feel like the world is your playground. And that's the best thing about it. You don't need access to equipment, a facility, just simply begin training. And that's my reason number one why calisthenics is a superior form of training. Reasons number two, you build a strong, durable, and functional body. Now, before I get started, let me say, you can build a strong, durable, and functional body using weights, yoga, Pilates, whatever it may be. So for the fitness police, come on here and just be like, yo, what are you saying calisthenics is? You think it's just the best form of training since it is. But I'm not saying you can't build a strong, durable, and functional body without the use of calisthenics. I just find that training calisthenics, it sort of enhances those attributes just a bit more. In any forms of training, you want a strong, durable, and functional body. Functional meaning that your day-to-day activities aren't inhibited by any pre-existing injuries or anything that can kind of incite an injury. For example, when you train calisthenics, you're working more than just your muscles. You're working your joints. And so as we age, the healthier our joints, the better overall quality of life that we live. Understand this, guys. I'm not saying weights won't strengthen your muscles or your joints for that matter. When you train calisthenics, it's just not as excessive. And take that with a grain of salt, because when you train calisthenics, it can still be excessive on your joints. For instance, training planche, front lever, those are highly focused on connective tissue conditioning. So it still can be excessive on your joints, but when you're doing like push-ups, pull-ups, dips, those aren't as demanding on your joints versus planche, front lever, back lever, etc. Even taking a skill like handstands, that's a great skill to build strength, durability, functional strength. Studies show being able to handstand improves your overall quality of life. So if you don't know how to handstand, I strongly suggest learning how to, because you can use that skill for the rest of your life. So training calisthenics will build you an incredible foundation of strength, durability, and functionality. But most importantly, with any form of training, just make sure you guys train safely and effectively. Let's jump into reason number three. It transfers to other aspects of training, whether that be weightlifting, martial arts, and more. I always use this example. Guys who just train calisthenics usually do well in weightlifting, or let's just say they have a good foundation of strength. So for instance, a guy that's able to do weighted pull-ups, let's say with 245-pound plates, if he's able to do that 5 to 10 reps, then that person can usually pull a good amount of weight on lat pull downs. Guys that have a strong pushing game, whether that's planche push-ups, handstand push-ups, 90-degree handstand push-ups, guys who are able to do those skills are going to be able to bench press a good amount of weight. There was one point where I didn't bench press for like 2 years. I kid you not. And I was just training calisthenics. Then I tried this trend on Instagram where it says like if you bench press a certain amount of weight, then you're in a top percentage, whatever it may be. I think I ended up bench pressing like 265, 275 for one rep, and that was like 2 years off of bench press. All because I was doing handstand push-ups, weighted push-ups, weighted handstand push-ups. Training calisthenics has a very high transfer weight to other aspects of training. When a person just weightlifts and they don't train a lot of calisthenics, they usually don't do really well in calisthenics. I've seen people be able to bench press quite a large amount of weight, but they're not really strong in their push-ups. Or they could lat pull down or barbell row quite an amount of weight, but yet they still struggle with a pull-up. So if you just train calisthenics, you're gonna be able to do other exercises, whether that's in CrossFit, weightlifting, yoga, it's not gonna be as difficult versus a person that's trying to get into calisthenics. I have even found that training calisthenics transfers very well to martial arts. Being able to do explosive exercises in calisthenics helps me a lot when I'm doing my kicks or my punches. So when you train calisthenics, understand that you're gonna excel in other forms of training as well. And reason number 4, honestly, it's just a huge flex. Calisthenics is absolutely beautiful. When you look at the root word of calisthenics, it comes from the Greek word kalos or kalisto, meaning beauty, stenos meaning strength, power, ability, might, or even it says the pyru, say, to have or hold, and then ix meaning steadfast, toughness. Training calisthenics, strength, power, beauty. That's what I love about calisthenics. It's honestly just a huge flex. When I see guys doing muscle ups, planche, handstands, I'm like, yo, that's what really encapsulated me to start training calisthenics. When I first got my muscle up, I'm like, okay, bet, that's the holy grail exercise, right? But then you come across the handstands, the planches, you're like, what? What did I get myself into? Because there's way more skills to learn in calisthenics, and that's honestly the beauty of it. When you see those high-level guys training calisthenics and they do it with so much grace and beauty, you're just like, yo, that's like top-tier art form right there. If I'm just chilling at the airport and let's say I want to do handstands, I can bust out a handstand and people are gonna be like, yo, how is he able to do that? But that's what I really love about calisthenics. It's just the beauty of it all. It's such a huge flex. I do have one honorable mention one because I didn't have this one on the list, and that's just that it's accessible to anyone. You don't have to be a certain way to start training calisthenics. You don't have to begin doing push-ups, pull-ups, dips. You can simply just do a high plank hold. You can do an elbow plank. You can start getting into shape just by training at home. But those are my top reasons why calisthenics is a superior form of training. I will say, even though I think calisthenics is the best form of training, don't neglect utilizing other forms of training. Whether that's using weightlifting, yoga, Pilates, don't be closed off to other forms of training because you find that this one, it just works for you. Always try to challenge yourself. Even though I train primarily calisthenics, I still utilize weights because weights in some form or format, I couldn't really hit when training calisthenics. So don't be a closed book to other forms of training just because you think this one is the best. I always remind you guys what Bruce Lee said, absorb what is useful. Guys, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to smash that like button. Most importantly, make sure you are properly subscribed. I'll see you guys next video. Peace and love as always, and not shade. Boom! We out, baby.